What is up, everybody? It is Chris from One More Game MTG, and it is spoiler season all over again. Oh, we are so excited for this. Commanders Legends Baldur's Gate spoiler has just started their seasons of awesome spoilers, and we're starting off with an absolutely insane card. The card we are talking about is Jon Irenicus Shattered One. It is a 3/3 elf wizard for 2 blue-black, and it reads, at the beginning of your end step, target opponent gains control of up to 1 target creature you control. Plus, put 2 1/1 counters on it, and then you tap it. It is goaded for the rest of the game and gains the ability, it cannot be sacrificed. Whenever a creature you own but do not control attacks, you draw a card. Now this is absolutely insane. By being able to get just multiple creatures out there within a matter of a few turns, you'll gain some serious advantage with all the creatures your opponents have, since they're all goaded, so they're going to swing in. There have been multiple cards in Magic history that have a negative impact on your own self that have a serious drawback for that initial upside. In the past, more often than not, these commanders have been Zedru, the Great-Hearted, and Blim Comedic Genius. Basically, you play a card, it might seem like a great offense in the get-go, but guess what? It's going to put a lot more harm to you than you would think, so the best thing to do, give it to your opponents. Now we have that ability in Dimir. These decks have had always a very heavy focus on giving your opponents permanents you control just to get your overall value for yourself. Cast it pretty cheap and then just get the advantage, and when you're done with it, just give it away. With Jon Irenicus, we now have the same option in Dimir, which basically is pretty awesome in my opinion. We have both the blue and the black options from each color to come to one to give the perfect combination. Now here are some cards you want to consider if you plan on building this deck from the upcoming set. Now these are cards I wish simply to include because they're defined as how much you want to Now the cards you want to include can simply be defined as how much salt do you want to cause with your opponents. First off, we have Steel Golem and Grid Monitor. Basically, this is like you have a creature and you're done. Both of these creatures prevent the owner from casting any additional creature spells within a single turn, which will force your opponents to use removal on that creature if they just want to play on the creature. And especially since these creatures are now goaded so they must swing, you have no other choice whatsoever. And on top of it, each of these offer a great curve for power and toughness for their mana value, and are colorless, so they can be easily played out very quickly. Now, if you want to punish your opponent for casting anything whatsoever, we have Desecration Elemental, which will force your opponents to sacrifice a creature each time they were to cast any spell at all. Basically, this works so well with Jon Irenicus. If they were to cast a spell, they can't sacrifice that creature because it has that ability, it cannot be sacrificed, so they are forced to sacrifice any other creature that they have on the board. Now, if sacrificing permanents is the direction you wish to go through, incredible cards to include would be Demonic Taskmaster, Great Harvester, Bog Elemental, and Polar Kraken. Each of these cards will force your opponents to either sacrifice a land or another creature at the beginning of their upkeep, which basically is going to slow down the opponents more than you could possibly imagine. Keeping your opponent's resources in check is the absolute best way to go to a victory. Now, if you want to ensure more than just a single permanent or two are sacrificed, we have Plague Reaver and Hellcarver Demon. With these effects, your opponents will be forced to sacrifice all of their creatures or all of the other permanents, giving you the immediate option of winning. The benefit of Jon Irenicus is that the creature is goaded, so Hellcarver Demon now has no choice but to swing. Since the goad effect is forcing each of these creatures to attack, it may simply lead to the creature being blocked, and the best way to avoid this is to add additional effects to drain the opponents when you attack. Cards like Embalmed Brawler and Hassering Ogress lead to your opponents potentially losing a massive amount of damage simply when they are forced to swing. These cards go great in tandem with our commander because every time our opponent's creature is now forced to attack, they're going to lose life very quickly. And look at Embalmed Brawler. The amount of life lost is equal to the number of counters on it, so with our commander's ability, you're adding an additional 2 +1/+1 counters just from the start. This can stack up over time if their opponents have no blockers. This will bring our opponent's life total to 0 immediately. And then lastly, we round out the choice of Abyssal Prosecutor to ensure that our opponents will simply never win the game, and Ebon Blade Reaper to ensure that our life is lost way faster than they can recover. The benefit of the actual Reaper is they actually have to attack with this. So if this puts damage into our opponents, they're going to lose life and have our opponents lose life on top of it. This is like a straight up 2-for-1. So that is my quick take on Jon Irenicus the Shattered One. This card is going to be absolutely insane. I cannot wait to see how everyone builds this. Again, my name is Chris from One More Game MTG. Please remember, hit that bell notification for future videos. Like, share, and subscribe. That subscribe button's right there. I know you can see it. You can click that button. It goes a long way. Links for everything are down in the description down below. Thanks again. Peace.